What is up? Thank you for coming to my channel, Prison POV. Shout out to the joiners. Shout out to the point of view crew. And dang, look at the condition of this camera. Look at the quality of this picture. It's embarrassing, actually. I apologize. Full blast. I'm going to fix it ASAP. But till then, I'm just going to have to rock out with my smock out. Now, trip on this. Yes, it's true. It's a 100% fact. First time I went to prison, my first felony conviction that sent me there, my first term was for stalking. I got convicted of stalking and I got sentenced to 16 months with half. Let me say this first though, before we get into all that. The thing that used to trip me out the most about it was every time I would show my paperwork, stalking, and I had to show it over and over. I'll explain why in a minute. Every time I was showed to the homeboys, here you go fellas, here for stalking, no one ever said anything. No one ever questioned me or said anything about it. And I mean, I thought for sure somebody would. But let me take that back though. Actually, one person did bring it up. But not in the context you would think. What happened was, when I was an old Corcoran 3B, and I was celled up with my homeboy Eddie Adams, when we became cellies, I said, hey dude, I need to talk to you about something very serious. Because I might be in trouble, and I want to know where you stand with it. I said, all right, I'm all ears. I ran the situation down to him. After we were done talking, everything was everything. It was all good. But he ended it by saying, I thought you were going to talk to me about the stalking. And I was like, no, homeboy, Charlie Holmes. Not unless you want to talk about Santa Claus's stalking and how yours can be full of coal if you don't watch your filthy mouth. Be that as it may, homeboy, like I said, no one ever said anything to me about it. But it was very embarrassing every time I showed it. And the reason why I had to show it so much is because I counted it out. On my P number is what I got when I got convicted of stalking. I got a P number. And I did 6 violations on that P number. And now every time I would go in for a violation, and the homeboys want to see my paperwork, I'm going to show them my parole packet. It's going to have all my violations. Why I got violated on this violation, on my little crimes. It's going to have a little essay that my parole officer written up, talk about what a bad guy I was on the streets and everything I did wrong. And here it is for you, all my crimes, my violation. But hey, don't forget to look at top at the controlling case, stalking. No one ever said anything. But I guess that is to be expected because although there are a handful of crimes that if you come into the CDCR with, if you go to California prison with some of these crimes, you're going to get got. Stalking's not one of them. There are crimes that get you in trouble. Stalking's not one of them. But it is embarrassing because stalking don't really have a victim now, does it? Stalking, that crime, isn't like you're actually causing harm to anybody. Actually, what you're just doing is you're just looking in the window at them. But now, how did I get this stalking conviction? You notice how I said conviction, not charge? How did I get this stalking conviction? The reason why I said conviction and not charge, because I wasn't charged with stalking. No, I picked up stalking in the plea bargain. Through, homeboy, the court process is when they stuck the stalking on me. No, I got arrested for terrorist threats. Got arrested for terrorist threats. And as I was going to court, they said, hey, you know what we're going to do with this terrorist threats? We're going to offer you 2 years with half-time but a strike. Because terrorist threats is a strikeable offense. If you get convicted of terrorist threats, it comes with a strike. You know how California does it? 3 strikes and you're out. Hey, I don't have any strikes and I don't want to start collecting them now. So I said, look, I know I'm going to prison. I'll sign on the dotted line. I'll let you, warehouse me away for a few months, but you're going to have to get rid of the strike. I'm not going to let you give me a strike. I won't sign for it. If I end up with a strike, I'm going to take it the hard way. A jury trial. Pick 12 of my peers and let's do this. Let's go to trial, I said. Pick 12. I'm just not going to voluntarily sign and let you stick a strike on me. I'm only going to take it at trial with no baseline. So finally, bro, I was playing hardball and they broke it down and they said, okay, we'll get rid of the strike. And I was like, yeah, that's what I thought. And they're like, here, sign here. Stalking, 16 months with half, no strike. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, that's what we thought. They found a way to get the last laugh, didn't they? They got rid of the strike, but damn, they stuck me with stalking. I'm like, almost was like, okay, bring back the terrorist threats. I'll sign 2 with half and a strike. Because snarf, I didn't want stalking. Did I? But I sure wanted 16 with half and no strike. So, bro, that was the deal. I wasn't tripping with it. My conscience is clear. I know I wasn't out there creeping and crawling and looking in windows. I knew what my crime was. Terrorist threats. But in the plea bargain, I got hit with that stalking, which no one ever questioned, come to find out. But how did I pick up the terrorist threats, though? And that's a whole nother can of worms. And if you're going to ask me that, I would say, which one? Because I have a handful of terrorist threats. That's why I went to prison. That's why I went to prison for it. Because terrorist threats is like anything else. It starts off a misdemeanor. Your first one's a misdemeanor. Your second one's a misdemeanor. Your third one's a felony. Just like DUI. First one's a misdemeanor. Second one's a misdemeanor. Third one's a felony. How about petty theft? First one's a misdemeanor. Second one's a misdemeanor. Third one is what? You guessed it, a felony. So since I already had a past with a couple of terrorist threats, when I got arrested on this one in April 2000, became a felony because it was actually my third or fourth one. But you know what? Terrorist threats, homeboy, I'm glad they revamped that law because terrorist threats was a weapon. The way it was written up in the past, homeboy, before they fixed it, people used it as a straight up weapon. I know it was used against me because Hal used to be able to get someone with terrorist threats, used to be able to just call the law and say, hey, this person threatened to unalive me. That's all. That's all it took. Me. This person said they're going to unalive me. Bye. And they go get that person, bro, and they're done for. That's out of line, dude. That's outrageous. That's all you would need to throw the cuffs on someone and convict him of a violent crime and throw him away in jail for 90 days or let him stack up and get a felony and go to prison for it? Homeboy, I had 2 terrorist threats and both of them were bogus. One of them, me and my ex-wife have been separated. I hadn't even seen her for 60 to 90 days or so. Hadn't even really seen her. I'm in Rexon Acres, my neighborhood where I was born and raised, and she's across town, living in an apartment. But I was going to get a job with one of the homeboys, making good money. What it was going to a telephone pole, dig down like 2 feet, and then treat that part of the telephone pole with bug spray and pesticides. Because bugs and termites were eating the telephone poles. They're going to pay $12 a pole, homeboy. I was on it. It's the first time in my life I could actually say I was on that pole, homie. I called the old lady. Bring me my work boots. She gave me a big old attitude, told me that she went to a company party, and then she was hanging out with her friends, and she didn't want to do all that. I kind of had an attitude, and then I hung up, but I made no threats. I didn't cuss. I didn't say anything foul. I didn't have any bad wishes for her. When we parted ways, it wasn't on a bad note. In fact, I think I thought she was bringing me the boots. Okay, bye. Whatever the case may be, and I'm walking back the pad, and a sheriff pulls up. He's like, hey, you know Heather? And I was totally taken aback and shocked by it. I was like, Heather? Yeah, I know Heather. He's like, you talked to her recently? I was like, yeah, just now. And I'm thinking, how's this guy now? I'm thinking, what's going on? I'm like, yeah, just now talked to her. He's like, hands behind your back, rest of me. Next thing I know, I'm sitting in a cop car, going to jail with terrorist threats. Okay, she said, I called and threatened to unalive her. No, I just called to get my boots, homeboy. Like, if you really don't want to bring my boots that bad, don't bring them. Don't send me to jail over it. When I got out for that terrorist threats, I went in, they gave me 5 months. Since it was violent, you're not eligible for a kick, and you have to do 2/3 of it. You do 90 on 5 months. I got out for the 90 days, and she let me move back in with her, even though she was dating her boss from work. I can't figure women out. I don't even try. Although I have thought back and been like, why did she even let me move back in? Perhaps she wanted to see if she still had feelings for me, maybe, when I gave it a little bit of thought. I don't know. I can't figure women out, much less that woman. She let me move back in, but she's dating her boss. I get a good job. And I'm not paying her much attention, but the attention I'm paying her, I've noticed she's funny style. And then all of a sudden she says to me, hey, let's move out of these apartments. Let's move into some blue apartments across town. And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. And she drove me by the blue apartments. We're going to move here. I was like, all right. She's like, hey, but let's not pay the rent on the apartment we're in so that we can save that money and have more money with us when we move into the blue apartments across town. And I said, hey, whatever. Everything's in her name. She takes care of the bills and all that. Hey, whatever. Whatever you say, whatever you want to do, I'm down. So then she comes at me with, oh my gosh, you're not going to believe what happened. What? I say, I'm all ears. You know how we weren't going to pay the rent at this apartment so we could save all of our money and take it with us to the blue apartment? Well, wouldn't you know that the same rental company owns these apartments and the blue apartment? Who would have thunk? So they realized our scheme. They realized we weren't going to pay him here. Or they realized that we did not pay him here and they're mad about it. So they're not going to let us move in here because we didn't pay here. She was explaining to me. And I went ahead and bought because it sounded good. So she's like, we're not going to be able to move in the blue apartments. The people told us no because we stiffed them for the rent here. She goes, so you go live with your brother. I'll go live with my grandma. We'll part ways for about 30 days or so, save our money, get another apartment. I said, cool. Sounds fabulous. Fantastic. I'm a cheap date, homeboy. I'm easy to please. Move in with my brother. I'm working. I'm saving my money. Not really talking to her all that much. Not really tripping. Just doing me. But after not hearing from her for like 30, 45 days, I'm like, well, what's going on? I decided just go ahead and drive by those blue apartments. I had like a weird little gut feeling. Had like a hunch. Maybe I should go buy the blue apartments. I drove by there, bro, and I was the most shocked I've ever been in my life to see her car there. I'm like, did she move in here without me? What the heck was all that just drag? Was all that just game, homeboy? What in the world? There's her car. So I pull up, park next to it, get up, get out, walk to the apartment, look in, and she's sitting there with the dude. Has some dude there, her boss. Of course, I get mad. I'm the alpha male. I'm the apex predator. I try to fight. He doesn't want to come out. I spin on his car. It's a bunch of drama. Last time I ever see her, they move out of that blue apartment and she moves in with him. I'm in contact with her best friend Shauna, though. Her friend Shauna's trying to tell her, no, don't talk to your boss. Work things out with Chris. You guys have kids together and a past. You're just going through a stage. You don't want to be with your boss. Work it out with Chris. Her best friend Shauna's trying to give her that advice. And her friend Shauna's telling me, be calling her. Send her roses. Work your angle. Try to get her back. And I'm fighting on your behalf as well. Finally, she called and told me, look, she's moving. She's out of here. She's going to leave. And we had 2 kids together. She goes, you better just go see your kids one last time if they're not already gone. Dude, this all transpired so fastly. I get out of jail, stiff these apartments for the blue ones. We didn't get the blue ones. She has a dude. Now they're moving. I mean, just like happened overnight, bro. They already had the plans in the works. Apparently, I'm the last to know. So, hey, you better go see your kids while you can. I went to their preschool. Visited with them, not knowing what the heck's going on. Mom comes to pick them up. I see her. First time I seen her since the apartment when I spin on dude's car and try to fight him. Since then, they got married even. And yeah, they're leaving. Moving to another town way up north. And I was like, hey, I know you guys are moving and leaving and all that jazz. I don't really have space in my brain to even process it. I'm still trying to get over the divorce and the thing with the kids. I'm just like, it's horrible when your family breaks apart. It was rough on me. I was trying to process it. Nothing I can really do about it, but hey, bring the girls to my grandma's house on Monday. Because the preschool, when I was there visiting, when the mom came, the preschool said there's no preschool Monday. It's a holiday. I was like, perfect. I was like, bring them to my grandma's house. My grandma will be there, a supervised visit. It was one of my daughter's birthdays. Have a little birthday for her. Cake, some presents, some ice cream. Give me that. Do that for me. I mean, you're screwing me no baseline. You're snatching them up. You're moving, spitting in my face. I can't do nothing about it. I don't have money for a lawyer. I don't even know how to fight this. Her new hubby was a grown man. We were young kids. He owned his own home. He was the boss. He had lawyers and money. Way over my head, bro. I didn't even... What is going on? It was like a whirlwind in my head. I didn't know what was happening. But let me visit the kids one last time. Have a heart. Have a soul. And I remember, I'll never forget, she's like, I'll ask my husband, was her reply. Trying to get a little dig in. Ask who you want. And that Monday, I really thought she was going to drop him off at my grandma's house. And let me and my family enjoy time with my daughters. One last time, they moved way up north. Let us give them a birthday present with cake, ice cream, and presents. She didn't show, and I was livid. I was livid. And I'd asked my daughter at that preschool, where does mommy work? Where's your mom work? Because I knew she no longer had the old job because she had to quit it because she got with the boss. So my daughter said, hey, she's a secretary at Mercedes-Benz dealership. I blew that place up. Bring, bring. I called it 50 times. Once I realized she wasn't going to bring my daughters. You piece of garbage. And the cool thing about it, she had to answer the phone. because it was a business. She was a secretary. She couldn't be like, oh, it's Chris, I'm not going to answer, or pick it up and hang up on me. Nope, she had to be like, hello, with a sweet voice every single time. And I was breathe fire through the phone. How dare you? You're not going to bring my kids. F you, F you, I hate you, I hate you. All kinds of threats. All this anger, frustration. Called the cops, homeboy. I got gaffled up for terrorist threats. How that happened, though, it took a good 60 days for them to catch me. Of course, a warrant went out. Of course, I'm bobbing and weaving the police. And there came a time, dude, I was at one of my homeboys' pads on the east side. We're all looking for the zigzags. Where's the zigzags? Dude's like, they might be in my truck. I was like, I'll go look. I'm walking out from the apartment of the truck. The apartment next door, I see 2 BPD, Bakersfield police officers. 2 guys from Bakersfield Police Department. Cops beating on the door next door, which no one lived at. It was like a fake 911 call. I don't know why they were there. But there's these cops beating on the door. Has nothing to do with me. I should just went right about my business. I should have had ice cold nerves, homeboy. Went right to the truck, not even look at him. Got the zags, back to the apartment. But no! I saw him and panicked, homeboy. I saw him like, oh! Because I knew I was wanted, dude. Gave myself away. New to all this. I saw him and panicked. Ran back in the apartment. And of course they saw that and chased me. But of course they have no right to go in the apartment. They stopped at the threshold. And they're saying, come back, come back, come back. And they're telling my friends, get him and drag him out here to us. Why'd you run? Why'd you run? Why'd you run? They're yelling at me, come back. I'm back in the back bedroom trying to figure out how to get the bedroom window open. I'm going to open the bedroom window and I'm going to jump out it. But the bad thing is, his backyard, you know what was back there? A freeway. Who could imagine? Who would have thunk, homeboy, that in his backyard was literally a very busy freeway. And I was actually going to try to run it. It had eastbound and westbound lanes. I probably would have got hit. I'm not thinking about that. I don't care. I want to get away. But finally, my friend came. I thought he was going to help me open the window. But he goes, dude, get out of my house. You're making the house hot. Don't run from the cops into my pad. Go talk to the cops. Go address them and their needs. Go take care of that. Get away from my window. You're not going to leave out of it. And he basically dragged me away from the window to the cops and delivered me into them. Good looking out, homeboy. And so I get out there, try to give him a fake name, try to run drag, try to give him all kinds of shenanigans, try to lie, and it doesn't work, and get arrested, go to jail, and they charge me with terrorist threats. That's when they start coming at me with 2 with half, and a strike! Next thing you know, I'm a convicted stalker, homeboy, on my way to the Pinta. Where you at? I'm gonna cut the string, let it fly. Peace!